Hello. All right, we're going to get started. This is Eugene Hernandez from indieWIRE. We're starting our second to last day of discussions here at the Filmmakers Lounge, and we always start with hot topics. Today's guest is someone who's going to fill us in on all the great parties and all the great happenings we may have missed over the past week, because he goes to all the parties so that we don't have to, or because we're not invited. So in a little while we're going to have the folks from Stakeland, and we're going to have the director of Dirty Girl as well today. But for the first few minutes we always talk about the buzz, and today's buzz surrounds the scene in Toronto. So this is Shinan Govani. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
So what's your take so far?
So apparently there are films at this thing?
They've started showing films, now that the parties are kind of dwindling, now that the party scene is kind of dwindling, they're starting to show films to fill in the gaps.
Right.
So what's been the best party of the week, and what's been the worst party of the week? Not that you're only about parties, but I mean, you know, you're a man about town.
I'm a lot about parties, I'll own it. Yeah, I write the social column in the Post, so I have a very sort of different lens on the festival, and I would say the best party probably was I got to go to Colin Firth's 50th birthday dinner.
What was that like?
Which was very Colin Firth-esque, and there were truffles flown in from exotic places, and it was at the Grey Goose Soho House Club. And an old roommate of his arrived, and he came bearing a photo of him at age 18 when he had hair like, you know, like a cast member out of the Partridge Family. And
Feather, kind of like that.
yes, yeah, and it was interesting because he turned 50 on Friday, so it's like early on in the festival, and he turned 50 precisely the day after Hugh Grant turned 50. So his old arch nemesis from Bridget Jones. So I confronted him about that because it was just like one day later he turned 50, and his quote to me was, "Yes, but I'm still younger than that old bugger." So just precisely the kind of quippy British soundbite you're looking for.
And he's immediately cast in the awards sort of race now based on his performance in this film in King's Speech, right?
Yeah, I would say if there's something you can take to the bank buzz-wise, Colin Firth for this film seems right on. It seems like that film is also very palatable, much more than maybe A Single Man, which may not have played to all kinds of constituencies. Yeah.
So what's your Shinan? You're the man about town, as I said earlier here in Toronto. What's your take on being down here? The festival's moved downtown, primarily moved downtown, although there's still a bunch of parties uptown.
Right.
What's your take? Give us the local perspective on the festival this year, and then what people are saying about the move and everything else.
Yeah, I mean, there's this prevailing storyline in the press, at least, that the festival has gone downtown. I think that's sort of a fatuous kind of commentary at the end of the day, because I know from my perspective there's as many things uptown. And moreover, the festival has been moving to different orbits for some years now. This is not like a switch went on. I think it's a reflection of how big the festival has gotten,
right.
And the fact that a lot of stars probably want to hide, don't want to be in the fishbowl that is Yorkville, may not want to be in this new fishbowl either. So yeah, I mean, I think there's the things going all around town, which actually makes it very difficult from my perspective, covering the beat I do, because you have to sort of run around, and I mean, always the challenge for me is trying to be at the right party for the right 15 minutes, and often having to reroute, and you know, depending on the kindness of strangers. And
how many years have you been doing TIFF? How many years?
This is, I think, my 8th or 9th TIFF, and you know, partly I can do this in my sleep, and also, I mean, I kind of do this bizarre job of going to parties week after week all the time. So this is just a heightened element of what I do, a sort of going to parties on steroids element, but I still have the basic DNA when it comes down to it.
So we're getting you up early by bringing you here at 12:30. You must be. This must be like.
Oh, I was doing morning shows this morning, so
Oh, right.
yeah. I mean, this because it's my town, and you know, I'm trying to be as multimedia as possible, and I'm writing every day. That the sleep comes in when it can. I will say that having covered it for 8 or 9 years, one way that the festival's absolutely changed from a social point of view is the advent of Twitter. You know, in a lot of ways, it's made things much more easy in that there's a whole army of citizen journalists reporting celebrity sightings in real time, you know, providing updates on, you know, what parties are ebbing and flowing at what time. So there's all these constant feeds